What the haters talking about?
What's up, family? Vitaly Kondratenko is a bad man. Not bad meaning good, but bad meaning bad. This is the sucker who sucker punched a 61-year-old woman by the name of Nina Tulipova in Russia inside of a supermarket, unprovoked. She was invading his space. And it didn't appear that he said anything to her at all. He just turned and punched the woman. When I say standing in his space, she was standing like right next to him, like they were together. And he just turned and punched her. Now, this is an old video. This happened in 2015. So dude was arrested. Of course, got the name and everything. So he was arrested. And for what I understand, he ended up being sentenced. This dude, as one might guess, has a history of violence. His record indicates that he had been arrested for domestic violence before, including breaking his mother-in-law's rib. Yeah. So this dude, for his part, said that he didn't remember anything. He said he don't remember punching a woman. That could be true, but he could also be lying. In any event, it's one of those type of things that I can't believe that there were other people inside of that store, other men. There was a man like right behind the woman. He seemed to be an older gentleman, but still, like he wasn't like elderly. Seemed like he could have done something. I mean, just something, right? I understand that, I come from the old school, mind your own business, and all that kind of stuff, right? But I also come from the old school that says protect your community. Protect the women of your community. You protect the children, protect the elderly. See, a lot of these cats, they don't have a code. They just don't care about nothing. And I remember interviewing Mia X on the GETO Boys Reloaded podcast. By the way, if you haven't joined the podcast, make sure that you subscribe. There's a link under this video for you to do so. Subscribe to the GETO Boys Reloaded podcast. Mia X said, I asked her about community. We were having a discussion about community and how people in the community used to look out for each other. They even used to sometimes share electricity if somebody had their lights cut off. And I said, Mia, what happened, Mia? And she said, we stopped caring. And that's what we are, fam. Even if dude didn't care, whether he just didn't care and he snapped or he was incapable of knowing what he was doing because of mental issues. Either way, it don't matter. Somebody should have stood up. Somebody should have defended that woman. And as far as I saw in the video, the closest person to her was the guy that was standing in line next to her, behind her. I mean, I ain't saying, just, be a straight up, hero where you go in and just challenge the guy to a brawl or whatever. But I mean, anything, any little slick stuff like, maybe like, let's say you can't whoop the dude or you don't think you can whoop the dude. How about just kind of like you ain't got nothing to do with it and you walking off and hit his ass in the head with a jar of mayonnaise. A man, what I'm talking about? I mean, like something. Like, Act like you ain't got nothing to do with it. You pushing your cart and just run over his ass. Anything. Something. I mean, do y'all really want to live in a society where women don't feel protected? Keep in mind, these women are in your family also. These are also women that you purport to love and care about also. I don't want to live in that type of society. I don't want to live in a type of world where the elderly is not protected, where women and children are not protected, and even men, boys. I don't want to live in that type of world, man, where we're at a point to where it's like a lot of it is that, okay, you got people that's acting out and that are uncivilized much, but you also have a lot of people out there who are cowards. Oh, I don't want to get into it, man. I ain't finna get hurt. I'm gonna end up in jail and all. Everybody's so worried about going to jail or getting hurt, might get killed or whatever. You're gonna get hurt, get killed anyway. At the rate that things are going right now, if we don't rail this thing back in, if we don't figure out how to pump the brakes on this thing, man, you may as well be dead anyway. Because everybody gonna be at home with a gun like this all day long, just looking out the window, waiting on somebody to come in. And they're coming in. Because these jokers are getting bolder and bolder. Home invasions are up 1,000%. Used to be your home was your castle. That was your safe haven. That's over. It can go down at any moment, and all of us know that it can happen to any one of us. Ain't none of us exempt. No matter how rich or poor, no matter how strong, weak, no matter how religious, not you are, whatever, it don't matter. Don't matter what your ethnicity, whatever. Anybody can be a victim of a home invasion at any moment. So we don't have a choice but to try to look after each other. We gotta look after each other. You look after my grandma, I'm gonna look after your grandma. You know what I'm saying? Somebody stood up for my sister, I'm gonna stand up for somebody's sister. Stand up for my cousin, my aunt, my mom, I stand up for yours. And I'm not saying it's going to eliminate attacks and violence aimed toward the women in our community, but it will greatly reduce it, because by looking after each other, we're establishing a code of conduct, so to speak. That code says that you don't violate our women under any circumstance. You don't do that. You don't violate our women. You don't do that. And we're not going to tolerate it. And you won't have any refuge. There'll be nowhere you can go and be safe if you violate our women. That's the attitude we got to have. Don't know who dude is that was in line, but I still believe that, I always believe that's something that you can do. I just believe in fighting back. And I think when you exhibit coward behavior, I believe that you're opening yourself up for more abuse. I believe when you watch a woman get attacked like that and do nothing, you stand there, it emboldens the next person to do the same thing. Next time might be somebody in your family. It emboldens that person who did it to do it again. But man, it ain't nothing like a good old-fashioned ass whooping. Y'all remember that? Growing up, I remember older people would say that all the time. That boy need an ass whooping. A lot of times they were talking about me. But yeah, I remember older people saying things like that. Yeah, he need an ass whooping. And if they said I needed an ass whooping, I probably did need an ass whooping. But some people, they're so used to getting away with things. Maybe it's because they have money. Maybe they're big, maybe they're small, because some people get passes all the time because they're so small, somebody small in stature, somebody might give them a pass. Maybe somebody might feel entitled or emboldened to be aggressive because of their ethnicity. perhaps their affiliation, whatever it is. I don't believe in giving people passes or letting people walk over you under any circumstances. And whoever that dude was, well, we know who he is, but hopefully he got his tenfold when he went to prison. I mean, you know, assuming that he's not really like, mental case. Yeah, he's a mental case. Yeah, something got to be wrong with you up top to do something like that. So, but if he was aware of it, then he get what he get. If not, I say get the dude some help. The woman didn't die. You know, she went to the hospital for a split lip and several bruises. They said she had several facial bruises. She didn't die. So hopefully dude can get the help that he needs, and we have more men start to step up and protect their communities, you know, protect the women in their communities. Because a nation can only go as far as its woman. I know some of y'all don't like to hear that, but it's true. For the most part, the women raise the children. And if you have a woman that ain't right in the head, that woman is traumatized, that woman is depressed, she may be able to give a kid what they need, but she'll run into a lot of difficulties doing so. I don't want to live in that type of world. Vitaly Kondratenko, your mama should be embarrassed and your daddy should have pulled out. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?
Yeah.